This is ANN, a service of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church. Thanks so much for joining us for our second annual Council News Update.
First in the news, the church's treasurer delivered a report today that showed the denomination's major financial changes over the past 2 decades. Bob Lemon highlighted a new trend by noting an increase in giving for specific projects, especially among young adults. Lemon also explained that while the church has more than doubled from 8 million to 18 million, the World Church headquarters operations and personnel has increased by less than 2%. Bob Lemon has more.
Well, we've found that over time it's very easy to just add employees at the administrative level, and you can use up all the money, all the increases in tithes and offerings that come. Over the last 18 years, at the General Conference, we've only increased a net of 5 employees. And we've done that intentionally so that we can have more strength and more money and more pastors and more frontline workers, and also at the conference levels, because that's where we need the strength in the church.
The church's second financial leader, Juan Prestol, noted that the church's world headquarters contingency budget is less than 0.5%, underscoring the inaccuracy of common misperception that the church's headquarters operates with great financial flexibility.
Delegates voted today to adjust the language of a key fundamental belief to emphasize that creation was a recent event that took place during 6 literal days. The decision came out of a growing concern about what church leaders claim is misinterpretation of the creation account within the denomination. The protocol to modify the fundamental belief on creation began at 2010 General Conference session. Modifications for other beliefs included deleting redundancies, adopting more inclusive language, erasing men of God and replacing with persons of God, fixing punctuation, and scrapping marriage partners in favor of a man and a woman. The proposed revisions to the fundamental beliefs will be considered by delegates of the 2015 General Conference session for adoption into official church policy.
Church leaders also approved edits for the church's mission statement that was voted by the church's executive committee during the 2009 annual council. General Conference Archives Director David Trim shared why it was important to make these revisions.
The church's current mission statement has served the church well for nearly 25 years, but we always review the mission statement. Each General Conference session, as part of the strategic planning process, in fact, we look at the mission statement again. In the past, the changes have all been relatively minor, and it was felt that after a quarter of a century, there was a need for a wholesale approach. And also, it was the first mission statement we designed, and it was rather long. And over the years, we've actually made it longer. It's now so long that people don't know it, people don't cite it. We wanted something that would be memorable, that every local church could use on its website, put it in its bulletin, that every member could know, so that every Adventist could identify with the mission of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Delegates agreed to revise many sections of the church manual, a document created 82 years ago to provide local churches with guidelines on how to operate in relation to the denominational structure. The amendments modernize the language and make other changes, such as removing the word ordinance from references to communion service. Following the vote to adopt the changes, the revision committee went back into its own meeting to consider further editing to bring before the delegates regarding the church manual section on the reasons for discipline.
And finally, at Annual Council, there are so many items and decisions to be made, but we're going to give you a wrap-up of the events that took place during today's meetings. Delegates approved preliminary support for the Seventh-day Adventist Church in North America's headquarters to move out of the World Church's headquarters if the division decides to relocate. Adventist Communication Director Williams Costa Jr. presented the anthem for next year's General Conference session and shared the score and a CD of the piece. The 2015 through 2020 strategic plan for the church was presented and approved. And finally, the Adventist Women's Ministries Department announced their launch of a Bible specifically made for women.
Thanks for watching this special edition of ANN. Join us tomorrow as we continue our coverage of the 2014 Annual Council.
But remember, you can visit news.adventist.org for full coverage, also Facebook and Twitter. Till next time, God bless.
Take care.